not going to feed you. It has been the brunt of many jokes. It has been ridiculed and laughed at every time the name is mentioned. Tonight, I'm going to tell you everything you ever wanted to know about the spork, but were afraid to ask. The spork, also known as a foon, was actually a very unique device. Now, many of you will probably think that it was discovered or invented maybe in the 60s, or even in the 70s, or even earlier. If you say the 70s, you're right. It was actually discovered and invented in 1874 by Samuel W. Francis. And in 1974, he also patented the spork. The only problem with the spork is that you can't really eat soup with it. The tongs are a little bit short and have a tendency to break off if you eat anything with it harder than a peach from a can, because these things have a tendency to break off. Now, originally when he made the spork, besides having tongs on the little spoon section, it also had some edges so you could sort of cut your food as you're eating. So in 1874, he came up with this. Now, the term spork didn't actually come about until approximately maybe the middle 20th century. It had different names. So it's not really a new invention, because we have a lot of younger people in our audience here who weren't around in the 70s. So, to them, the 70s are ancient. So when I said the 60s and 70s, and when I came and said the 1870s, you're probably thinking, oh, so it's not a new product. It is used in a lot of places, such as Taco Bell, Kentucky Fried Chicken. You go to Taco Bell, for instance. You make it to-go order. You get your food in there, and you'll also get in there a knife and a spork. KFC is the same way. Prisons use these. School systems use sporks. One of the biggest things that you can come across, if you ever like to go camping or hiking, is to get these in a little plastic thing like you've got. They are lightweight, easy to carry, do not take up a lot of room, and it's basically versatile. So there are a lot of different ways of having these things. Now, you're probably thinking, where did she come up with this idea? This is actually a speech I wanted to do last week. To me, the spork is a wonderful invention that is part of our everyday life, really. We eat with forks, we eat with spoons. But when you think about it, who came up with this idea? He had a spoon, he had a fork, and he was probably thinking, I could come up with something better than having two things on my table that is easy to transport. What if I combine the two of them? How will this work? How can I make these two things work? This is 1874. When you think about it, 1874, that's 140 years ago, before we had everyday plastics. He actually had probably had one of his friends come up with a patent, not a patent, but a device to make this, to combine the two things together. Now, a lot of you are thinking, okay, she's telling us about the sport. A lot of you, some of you might put this in your cranium and hold this for later life. A lot of you, by the time you get down to the bottom of the escalator, like the majority of people, her speech was about what? So I say to you, at least wait till you get down to the bottom of the escalator before you've forgotten what I told you about tonight. The ever versatile sport.